Greetings, YouTube. This is Quentin. I'm back with a complete unboxing of what I believe to be my Note 9 and the free AKG over-the-ear wireless headphones that you get as part of pre-ordering the Note. So let's just get right to it. Let's use the bump. So, yep, that's what it is. Note 9 and the AKG headphones. So let me take the stuff out and pause real quick. Okay, I'm back and I have the packages out of the initial big cardboard box. I'll put the AKG's headphones away because I know everyone probably just wants to see the Note. So I have the blue model with the yellow pin, which comes with the blue model this year. The nice Samsung packaging as usual. This is the 128 gig model. I was really tempted to get the 512, but even for me, I'm like a power, what you would call, I guess, a power user, but that's still probably a little bit overkill for me. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting it, but I don't really need it. With the 128, which is awesome, combined with the 128 card that I already have, which is I still have the like free card, SD card that I got with the, I think the Note 7. Back then, they offered a free, there's always, every year for the last 3 or 4 years, they've offered free accessories, which are Note if you pre-order it, which is cool. Anyway, I still have that 128 card, so I'll have a combined 256 of storage when it's all said and done, and even more if I want to, bump up the SD card. So let me get to it. Kind of rambling, and these boxes are cool, but they're kind of hard to get out sometimes because you have to. It's really on here. Put that away. Typical Samsung, case with a little, it's not really magnetic. It used to be magnetic, but it's just kind of tucks in there. But, and this is the instructions, no doubt. So I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit so you can see a little better. Zooming in a little. Okay. So let's have, like I said, these are the instructions. Here's the SIM ejection tool. And here's the star of the show, the Note. Go ahead and take that out. Kind of turn it to the side. Let's take a look what's in the box. So nothing special. Typical Samsung. You get the, your OTG cable for transferring all your material from one phone to another, which works really good. The charging brick, fast charge brick, typical Samsung. And you have the nice AKG headphones, which I don't usually use. I might go all the way and use them this time. A lot of times I just save it, and when I sell the phone, I just leave it all packaged up and save it. The good the USB-C charging cord, quite a lot of length on it. AKG headphones that I talked about. Pins, like a little accessory or extra tips to change the tip in your S Pen. Not pins, but it's the tips to change the tool, excuse me, I should say, to change the tips in your S Pen. Something that I've actually never used. I think there's some tips in here too. There are tips in there, but I've never had a phone long enough to wear out the tip. And I don't really use the S Pen that much. I may use a little more with the added functionality of it, this new Note 9. But here's the Note. It's similar to the last year's Note 8, but it is a little different. It's a little bit more squarer, but actually not that much more. I like the placement of the fingerprint reader, and I have big hands, so I will probably have an easier time with this versus it being on the camera. Even though I still would have preferred it just a little bit lower, it's not going to bother me. And then we have the S Pen right here. And that looks kind of cool, the yellow S Pen. Huh. And even that seems to work a little better coming in and out. A little nicer click anyway. But here it is. I have the blue model. I can't remember what version blue this is. Let me see if it says it on the box. I don't know. I'll look later. I can't tell, but you know what it is. It's hard to look for it with one hand behind the camera. But, you know, it has a slightly different design with the different camera setup and where the fingerprint scanner is located, which is really nice. And I know with a lot of Samsung phones, they have material around the edges too, which I probably need to peel off. It's hard to see and do behind the camera, but a lot of times I'll do these unboxings and I won't know that it's on there until later, till it starts coming off on its own after use. But yeah, there's a little bit on there, but I want to get to the kind of power up and, you know, putting my Project Fi Sim in and making sure it works with that. Okay, so I'm back. I had a little issue with my camera during the unboxing and it didn't record the second half of the unboxing. But anyway, I've been using the Note for about a day since I unboxed it, and just a quick little overview. I like it a lot. It's a really big phone, bigger than what not really bigger than what I'm used to, but I'm so used to using slightly smaller phones such as the G7 and the iPhone 10, and even the Pixel's a little smaller, but I'm so used to using those phones that the Note is just a big phone. Anyway, so far so good. So far I really like it. To make a long story short, without babbling too much, the battery is still a work in progress as far as how I could comment on it. I took it to work yesterday and I had to do an update while I was at work, and I didn't unplug it. And I pretty much I was at work like maybe 10 hours, and when I left work, I had like 27%. And I started at 100. And that was with me kind of just constantly fiddling and playing with the phone during break, you know, listening to podcasts, playing music, you know, and just, you know, having a little bit of screen time. I think I had almost 2 hours of screen time. And then during that time, like I said, I did a full update. So, you know, the screen's on while it's updating. So far, so good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best battery, but it's pretty decent. Though how I could describe it is, you start using it and it drains, you know, a few percent, and then it stops draining. You use a little bit more with the screen on, it drains a little bit, and then it stops. It's kind of weird, you know. It's like at some point you use it a little bit and it drops a few percent. You use it a little bit more, and the draining, it just holds the same charge, and it gets to a point where it just holds it, and it does that, you know, off and on throughout the whole time that I have used it. So I would say it's actually a pretty good battery. Now, one thing I noticed is the standby time is pretty decent too, because I took the phone when I got home. Like I said, it was like 27%, and I have a tilt wireless charging car cradle, so it brought it up to like 32%. I got home, played with it a little bit more, brought it back down to like probably 30%, and I put it on my wireless charger, and I didn't have it on correctly, basically, and it didn't charge. So when I woke up this morning, it was 27%. Well, yeah. So it's like went from 30 to 27 overnight. So without, you know, me doing anything to it. So the standby time is pretty good. It's pretty good. So anyway, it's a brief overview of the Note. Look forward to the full review, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.